Good morning, everyone. Good morning, everyone. So
Good
today's
morning, sir.
today's class will continue with our discussion on object-oriented programming. So in the last class, we have seen how the Java create a virtual engine. So that diagram is important. So that is not the requirement. We have to understand, our objective is to understand object oriented programming, and Java is one of the technology that support object oriented programming. So let us now go into the means the most important part of the syllabus. We are going to start the important concepts of object oriented programming. So why is this name object oriented programming? Some of the characteristics of object oriented programming. What is encapsulation? What is abstraction? We will discuss and we will see. And if you have any problem, if you have any doubt, you can ask and clear your doubt. So object oriented programming. Object oriented programming will be used to represent real world objects like we discussed in the example that if you have a car, the car can have many different models. Each model perform differently. Each model have different characteristics. That is for a car. Similarly, for a student, each student belong to different semester. Each each student belongs to different semester. Each student can have different elective subject. It depend upon the choice of the student. Then each student have different set of functions to perform. Some student may be appearing for scholarship to certain category. Some student may be appearing to apply for gold medal. So some of the, but which is not means it is not applicable to all, but some. So what we mean to say is that if we say that a student is a class, so we know that what is a class is that it is a collection of some data and function, and this data and function, if you this data and function can be filled up differently, can be filled up differently. Let us what I mean to say is that object, when we say a object is the value that a class can be given. Now what is a class? A class is a collection of data and function. Now this particular data, suppose the name of a car. Now the name of a car cannot be given from before. Okay, the name of a car, if the name of a car is given from before, then that particular class is fixed. That particular class becomes the final. You cannot give, if suppose when you give a name of a variable x is equal to 5, that means it becomes x is equal to 5. You should be able to change it. When we say class is a collection of data and function, this particular data, if you give some set of data as to be equal to, suppose there is a variable name of a car. If you give the name of a car Maruti, then all the other classes that are going to associate with this particular data type are going to get the name Maruti. Like the class is a data type that we are familiar that class is a data type. It's a collection of a data and function. So if you have a data type, where you are given a value inside that data type. This data type, this class, is a user defined data type. So user create his own format of collection of data info, whatever data we wish to bind along with the function, functions which are required for us, data which is, we keep them together. So data and function, when keep together, it becomes a class. Now it is a data type. Okay, class is a data type. Suppose now every data type can have a value. If suppose if I am saying integer int, integer is a data type, so what is the requirement of a data type? We can declare values and variable of a data type. If we cannot give a variable for a data type, means it is not a data type but something else. So when we mean that a class is a data type, class is a data type, and what kind of a data type? It's a user defined data type. We will come to that. It is a user defined now what are examples of user defined data type? So we are discussing, you are discussing about primitive data type. You know what is the primitive data type? Integer, character, float, double. What is a derived data type? Array. Array is a derived data type. Array, stack, structure. And what is a abstract, what is a abstract data type? And or user defined data type? Data type which are created by the user, data type which is created by the user. So the system is not fixed the data type. System have a basic data type like integer, character, float. System have some derived data type like array, single array, double array, pointers, some of the derived. So you making them as a combination, we can create our own data type. This kind of data type is called user defined data type. When we use the given basic data type in the system, now what is the basic data type? Integer, character, float, and the given derived data type. What is the derived data type? Array, pointer, these things. So when we combine them to make our own data type, we tell that we are creating user defined data type. So each user can create his data type of his own choice. This particular concept is called user defined data type. This class is also a user defined data type because class is a collection of data and function. So when we say class is a collection of data and function, that means that particular data that I want to put in my class will be of a different type. I want to put a array, but you may not be interested to put a array. You may put one character, you may put one float, you may put one double, depend upon what is your question, whether your program, whether your objective require you to create a data type where all these three, integer, character, in the float, array, pointer, everything you can combine, depend upon user to user. So class is a user defined data type. That is the first thing. So when we have a data type, whether it's a user defined data type or a basic data type or a derived data type, we have to create a variable for it. Like we create a variable int x, we create a variable float y, we create a variable character x. Similarly, a class also will be created a variable. Okay, this particular variable is called object. When we tell a variable of a class, this particular variable is not called a variable, it will be called object. So when object oriented programming, that means this programming where this particular variable, the variable of the class, when we create a class, we create its variable. This variable when we create for class is keyword is the object oriented programming. So when we create this object, when we create a variable of a class, that is called a object of the class, it is not called a variable of the class. Now why it is not called a variable? Now variable, object, now there is a slight difference here. When we have a variable, suppose we have a variable. You suppose you want to find the largest of n number. Now n may be given for you, maybe it may be 3. Okay, suppose someone else doing the same program, and he may give the 7, someone may give the 8, someone 5. So n is different for every time you execute the program. N is different, but once you give the value, suppose there is one student who give the value n is equal to 5, then for the whole program his value will be n is equal to 5. Is not going to change inside the whole program. But if you want to change the n, you have to run the program again. In between the program, suppose you want to find the value, the largest of n number. So before starting the program, you ask user enter the value of n, yes or no. So n, if you give 7, and you after when your program starts, in between the program, can you ask again enter a value of n? It will be a contradiction once you ask for 7. So if you want to change the value of n from 7 to 5, suppose you want to now search the largest number for 10 number, you have to stop the program, run the program again. Or your two students are doing the same program, one may give the value of n10, one may give the value of n8. That is called the instance. This concept of variable and instance is two different things. Variable means once you set the value, the whole program it remains the same. You can change it, but you can change it from x to, you can change, suppose we are doing I plus plus, but I am not saying that. Try to understand, when you take a variable n, suppose you want to define the number of times you want to execute a loop. For example, the number of times you want to execute a loop, this particular value n, you decide from before. Once you ask the user enter the value of n, once you ask the user how many times you want to execute the loop, suppose the user gives the value n, then you cannot further change it. Similarly, enter the value of n to compare, to search the largest of n number. N may be different for you, it may be different for your friend, may be different. That is called the instance. Okay, that is called the instance. And variable is something which a memory holder, you can say variable is a memory holder, where a value is put in that memory space. A value is put in that memory space. But when you say instance means instantaneous. Do you understand instantaneous velocity, instantaneous force, instantaneous acceleration? That means from time to time it may change. It may have an initial value, it may have a final value, but likewise from time to time it may change. That particular concept is called instantaneous. So the object is instantaneous. So object is instantaneous. So I'll repeat again, variable and instance of a object. Variable is the something which once we set it initialized. When we initialize a variable, we initialize it and we continue it to use in. We cannot initialize a variable again and again. Once you initialize your name. What is your name? Your name is Mr. X. So once you initialize, you do it process the same. In between the program, you may change the x to y, you may change the x to z, but you initialize it to be x. If you want to initialize it to z, what you do? Can you initialize in between? You can change in between. You can update your variable in between. You cannot initialize in between. When you initialize a value x to be 0, you can update x plus plus, you can update x minus minus, but the initial value, the starting value x equal to 0, when you have to initialize, what you can do, you can stop the program, edit the code, you edit the code, x is equal to 5, then you run again, then in between you can change. So this particular initialization for user to user it may different. That's what enter the size of n, from user to user it may be different, that initial value. So initial value may, so when we have a class is a collection of data. For example, there is a class called car, the name of the car, the model of the car, the manufacturer of the car may be different. One may be Maruti, one may be Maruti Desire, one may be Maruti Swift, one may be Maruti Brezza. So many models of Maruti. And similarly, Maruti Brezza 2019, Maruti Brezza 2020, Maruti Brezza 2018. Even the Brezza have so many versions. So this is called initialization. How to initialize the same variable again and again. When we have a variable size of n, how to initialize the n, enter the size of n. So when we initialize the n again and again, okay, when we once we initialize it 5, suppose after few time we want to initialize it to 6, keeping the 5 to be keeping in the 5 to be the same, keeping the 5 to be the same, and we want to initialize it to be the new value to be 6. This is called the that is called the instance of a object. So that is called the instance of a class. So when we have a class, the concept of class is that it's a collection of data in some set of functions. This particular data will be taking some values. This particular data that we put inside a class, they are called instantaneous values. They are not the initial values. Means they are not the our values that we use in the C program. Okay, that once you initialize it, you cannot initialize it again. Do you are you getting me? Once you start a program in the once you start a program in the C program, size of the n is equal to 5. Once you run the program, your n initial value is n itself. Your initial value is uh, your initial value is n. It's your initial value is n, but you cannot change it. You can update it, but you cannot change it. That is called a variable. When we tell instantaneous variable, okay, when we tell instance, or rather when we say instance of a variable, instance means like it's instantaneous. It may change. The particular class, the the basic content of the class, it may change depend upon the choice of the person, the choice of the user, or maybe at a specific time. So what we mean to say is that that is called your object. That is called your object. And this particular data and function that we keep together, is that concept is called encapsulation. Capsule tablet you have seen. Two or more particles are combined together to form one tablet, capsule. Similarly, when data and function are bind together to make one entity, to make one unit, that concept is called encapsulation. So array is a encapsulation. Likewise, why array is a encapsulation? It's a collection of some n number of value. You cannot break the array and keep half the array in one function, half the array in one function. That is that means it is not the concept of encapsulation. When you move the array, your whole array move. When you delete the array, your whole array delete. So encapsulation means this data and function together that we are writing, this concept is called encapsulation. What is a class? Class is the name of the data type. class is this data type. Class is the data type where data and function are together encapsulated. What is a class? Class is a data type where data and function are encapsulated. What is encapsulation? Encapsulation come from the word capsule. Capsule means where one or more and two smaller units are bound and binded together to form one unit. So that concept is called encapsulation. So instantaneous variable, the class contain instantaneous variable. Instantaneous variable means the initial values can be different. Initial values can be different. When we have a C program, x is equal to 5, we give x is equal to 6. Once you set the initial value x is equal to 5, x is equal to x is equal to 5, x is equal to, we cannot change the initial value. We can run the program, we can update the values in between, but the initial value cannot be changed. Similarly, the initial, suppose one good example is your email address and your phone number. When you give your email address and phone number to the university, that is the initial value. You can update it, you can update in between, but your initial value is given. So your phone number is not the same as your friend phone number. So if you see student as a encapsulation of a class, so a student, you can say the student id, the student is a encapsulation. And what are the data of a student? His semester, his roll number, his registration id, his phone number, his permanent address, his local address, his email id. So every student have the same data. Every student have the same data. The initial value of every student is different. So likewise, you imagine there is a program which all your initial values are different and not the same. So in C program, when you initialize something, it keep as it is. When you want to initialize it from x is equal to 5 to x is equal to 6, you have to edit the code, you have to stop the program, and you have to run the program again. But in object oriented programming, the class, that particular encapsulation, this particular, when we make something as a encapsulation, this particular content of the encapsulation, what is this encapsulation? The class and function, that data and function together is called encapsulation, and this particular encapsulation is a data type called class. This concept is clear to you? So encapsulation is nothing but a combination of collection of data and function as a class. That is the concept of encapsulation, and this class is a user defined data type. Why it's a user defined data type? Every user can create a collection of data and function from his own choice and experience. It may be different from your choice and experience regarding your requirement of your program. So one example, this we discussed the student, your roll number, phone number, email address, local address, it may be different from all student. So the particular basic variable, basic name of the variable, you don't have to write again and again. When you write the student name, you give it a blank. If you now when you write the name of a data type, you when you create a data type, you do not give the value. Once you create a data type, after creating the data type, you can give the value, like int x is equal to 5, like that, initial value. So student is a example where you cannot have fixed value, you can have instantaneous values. Instantaneous values means values which can be initialized again and again with a new format and with new values. So your name, your email address, your phone number will be different from your friend phone number, friend email address. Okay, so these are two different initial values which can be updated if in between your semester you lose your phone or you change your number, it can be updated, but the initial value is same without changing the without stopping the program. That is the your when you create two initial values, means means in simple concept you are creating two programs. When the same program, you think logically, if you have one program where the value is given x is equal to 5, you want to run the same program with a value x is equal to 6, it can be allowed, but you have to run the program two times, yes or no, manually. So what object oriented programming is, these particular values, the memory is created before the execution. So once before this particular when you do the practical, you have seen, no, we are using the the name of the class, then we create a dot, then we give the name of the function. Okay, so likewise using this syntax, when you use this syntax, the Java system, it creates the memory, and inside that memory it initializes the value. When we have a program that contains the name of a student, that contains the name of the roll number, that contains the phone number, email address, and you have to initialize it again and again with new values, so new so the program memory is allocated two times. If you want to initialize it three times, memory is allocated three times, and every memory is a given a variable. This variable is called object of the class. This is called object. What is the object of the class? It is the variable of a class. Now why we call variable of a class? Because class is a user defined data type. So when we say data type, means there is some variable associated. So class is a collection of data and function. It is a user defined data type. Also we can so we should give some variable. If we have a data type, we should give some variable. So it is not only a variable, it is a instantaneous variable. It is a instantaneous. So this particular data type, this particular data, like integer, you can give integer a, b, c, d, e, f, yes or no. Similarly, for one object student, you can give student number 1, number 2, number 3, number 4. Number 1 may be 5th semester, number 2 may be 3rd semester, number 4 may be 7th semester. So number 1 may be one phone number, number 2 may be another phone number, number 3 may be another phone number. So when we have a data type, we have lot of variable. So int x comma y comma z, each value may be different. Not you, if you give x is equal to 2, not necessary you have to give y is equal to 3, depend upon you. Similarly, when we have a student, once you give the name of a student to be Rakesh, the another student not necessarily should be Rakesh, you can give it different. So that is what we are saying, different initialization for the same program, different initial. When we have so when you have the name of a student, suppose you have a name of a student, you have only name of a student. Now how to initialize the student to be Rakesh, then to be Raj, then to be some name Rajiv, the same variable like int x. How to give the x is equal to 5, int, now the int x is equal to 5, x is equal to 3, x is equal to 7. Is it allowed? Initialize value, it is not allowed. It is not inside one program. If you have a variable x, you can initialize it to only one time. You can update it later on, but initial value you should give only one time. X, you are not allowed to give more than x is equal to 5. It will be x is equal to 7. Then you have to stop the program, edit the code, then run. Runtime is not allowed. But object means when you create this class, new memory is created every time you create a variable. Once you create the variable of the class means the object of the class. I am repeating it again and again because this is the first class, but later on object you understand that it is the variable whose belong to the data type class. So when we create a object of the class, you can initialize different values, because Java create this memory, different memory for the same variable. That is the logic. We are not doing it manually. See, this you can do using C also, but you imagine the memory management, like in the first class we have discussed that some things you can do using C also, but the management of memory you have to do it yourself. How much memory is free, how much memory is the means you are going to add, but this is made easy for us by the object oriented programming. When you create a big data type like student, in our university student have a lot of things to do. He belongs to one course, he belongs to one semester, he appears for some back exam, he appears for regular exam, he apply for some scholarship, he apply for branch change sometime, he apply for mark sheet updation sometime, but not all, one out of many maybe. So this so big data types today, it is not a small data type like int x is a small data type, but when we tell student is a user defined data type. Student, why is a user defined data type? Because if I am a bad programmer, suppose I am a bad programmer, how I will give the student? I will give student name, int semester, and float marks. No information about his email address, no information about his phone number, no information. If you are a good programmer, you will make a very nice data type for the student. What will be the student data type contain? His name, his phone number, his parent phone number, his how many semester he has passed, how many semester he has backlog. Big list, big data type. This data type, if you want to initialize it every time for new student when register into university, you have to create a new data type. The same thing, it's the same thing remains the same, only the initial value changes. So what is this? You have to create a new memory. In that memory these values will be updated. When a new student comes, the program will keep on running. The main program does not stop. When the new student comes, a new memory will be created. This particular memory is called a variable of the class. This is called the object. The object contain instantaneous value. So every time a new student is created, new values can be given inside the initial value of the class. This is called your object oriented programming. This much is clear? Okay, so some of the concepts of object oriented programming are polymorphism, inheritance, encapsulation, abstraction, class, object, method, and message passing. We will discuss about this in the next class, and these particular things are there in the ERP. So if possible, you go through these topics. Okay, I will discuss it next class.